Hello, hello, hello. Let's do a video about Roger Waters, shall we? Because I might get some traffic if I do that. What's Roger been doing? What's he been up to? What's old Rog been doing? Well, Rog has been playing in Germany recently. And at the Berlin show on the 17th of May, it's like 11 days ago, it's resulted in being investigated by the police. By the German police. The concert was at Berlin's Mercedes-Benz Arena, and police spokesman Martin Hellweg said, "We are investigating on suspicion of incitement of public hatred because the clothing worn on stage could be used to glorify or justify Nazi rule, thereby disturbing the public peace. The clothing resembles the clothing of an SS officer." Now, again, many fans are up in arms, going, "Oh, you know what they're like little babies, little man babies. You don't understand. You've never seen the Wall movie or listened to the album. Wah, wah," like that. That's how I imagine that they speak. And they don't understand Germany's history with Nazi imagery. Again, this cuts both ways. They have rules and laws. There's Section 86 and 86A of their law, which bans distribution of online and offline propaganda and the public display and distribution of flags, insignia, uniform slogans and forms of greeting belonging to political parties and organisations that have been deemed unconstitutional by the Federal Constitutional Court, such as Nazis and neo-Nazis. And again, this goes back when I was young, and they banned, was it Wolfenstein 3D, and a lot of video games were banned in Germany because of their depictions of Nazis, war games. Anything set in World War II, I think you couldn't get them there. But again, that ban was lifted in 2018 because the Germans have softened somewhat to representations of Nazism. Again, I don't want to say it. It shouldn't be a thing. We shouldn't be doing this. Shouldn't be a thing. But Roger's done it. And he says, obviously, me dressing like a Nazi is me showing my condemnation of Nazism, because you often dress as the thing that you don't like. I guess that's what Prince Harry must have done when he went to that fancy dress party that time, dressed in Nazi uniform. Insert photo here of Harry. I'm not going to do that, but you can go and search for it yourself, because why not? But Rog at the gig dressed like this, and he does this. He dresses in, well, you can tell it's modelled on SS regalia. You've even got a red armband, white circle, and the hammer symbols. Again, styled very much on Nazi imagery, and he's flanked by two stormtroopers. That's what you've got, and you can see how he breaks German law. He does. He breaks German law. Now, he knows he's doing this. He knows what he's doing, because I want you to cast your mind back. Cast your mind. Can you cast your mind back? Cast your mind back to when the Berlin Wall fell, and they did the Wall live in Berlin. Do you remember that? Do you remember? And they did the Wall, and in that bit is that bit, the in the flesh, part 2 scene. But in those days, Rog, who knew that the Germans were sensitive about Nazi imagery, played the game a bit differently. He dressed like this. He dressed more like a South American dictator, a military junta from South America. Again, that I get, that is acceptable under German law because it doesn't depict it. You still know he's a fascist. You still know he's a bad man because he's wearing military uniform. But there is a big distinction between this and this. Here, he was sensitive and gave a fuck about German law, and here he doesn't give a fuck about German law. So, the old saying is, when in Rome, do as the Romans. In this case, when in Germania, do as the Germanians. So you can see why he's in trouble. Now, there is a get out clause, artistic expression. Artistic expression. It's a fine line. It's a fine line here. Again, I don't think... Again, Waters has shown himself how you can do the song, show an anti-fascist feeling without pandering to the Nazi imagery. He's already done it. He did it in the 90s. He did it. It's done. But now he's using that imagery. And because we know he's anti-Israel and loves spouting anti-Semitic tropes, talks about the Jewish cabal and Jewish money and how they control things, the old swivel-eyed loon approach. Those two elements, it doesn't make good bedfellows, does it? It just makes him look like he's doubling down on his anti-Semitism. So you can come at this from many different angles. Is it his artistic expression? Or is he being insensitive? Again, when there are laws in Germany about this kind of imagery, again, he could have gone on and he could have done the whole thing differently. That's the thing. That is the thing. That is the question. That's the nub of it. And again, the Germans have got rules. They've got laws against this, and it's very. I know it's all meant to be satire, but the whole, in the flesh, waiting for the worms part of the war is, for me, I don't like those bits. And again, it's designed for you not to like those bits because the character is unsympathetic. Again, The Wall is an album. If you watch my review, is great when you're a teenager because you can understand some of the alienation the main character feels. But when you grow up and live a bit and meet different people from different cultures and meet women, actual real life women with a pulse, you realise that your mother isn't to blame for all the things that have gone wrong in your life, and that every woman you meet isn't responsible for everything that's gone wrong in your life. Waters is a terrible misogynist, terrible anti-Semite. He is not a nice person. A nice person would be sensitive to the laws and the culture that he is, playing to. That's my opinion. That's all I'm saying. He can do that everywhere else around the world. But in Germany, maybe he should have gone for the military junta look. That's my twopence worth. And I think, again, Germany's got a real problem. They talk about, again, Roger loves to talk about Nazism in Ukraine. But Germany's still got a big problem with the far right. There's a lot of people whose granddads and great-granddads did bad things. And this is why, they have these rules, because it's bubbling under the surface. We didn't kill them all. We didn't kill them all. And that's the real problem. Because there'll always be some people who are sympathetic to that cause. And when you let Waters march around in his Nazi uniform, you're giving him validation. You're saying it's okay. Because not everyone's going to get the satire. Not everyone's going to go, oh, he's an anti-fascist, because that's what anti-fascists do. They dress as Nazis, don't they? When they march around. Yeah. And yes, I am being devil's advocate here. I do understand what satire is, and I do appreciate that it works in the context of the album. But we're talking about Germany here. We're talking about that country that did terrible, terrible things and are still living under that shadow. You know, we're talking about that sensitivity. You know, for some Germans, they haven't forgotten, and that's without the Jewish population that live in Germany and the many people that were slaughtered in the name of Nazism. And Roger Waters doesn't care about that. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about history. He doesn't care. He really doesn't care by doing this. You know, it's really a massive ego thing. Anyway, I've spoken enough. Remember, right? He did this when he could have done this. That's it. Just a different costume. Same routine. He could have just got the different costume out of the dress-up box and the show would have still been the same. You know? And again, I don't know if you remember, if you go back to the Berlin Wall show, even the Annas were stylised differently. I think they took the red out. I might be wrong. I think it was more of a monochrome look to the design of the Hammer logo. Again, red and white. You know. I don't need to spell it out to you. You're not stupid. You know what he's doing. You know he's being deliberately provocative. And that's fine for everywhere else except Germany. And if you don't get that, then you don't understand history and you don't understand what the Germans did. And that is me making a video about Roger Waters in a desperate attempt for some views. All right. Yeah, I think that'll do. I'm sure I'll cobble together some great AI artwork with Roger Waters looking like a Nazi, because he is, isn't he? Really, he is. Gee, it's coming to the end of May. When's that Dark Side of the Loon album coming out, Rog? When's it coming out? Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been baiting you one more time. Ta-ta.